Welcome to the Say It Out Loud podcast. I'm your host, Vasavi Kumar. If you're eager to gain clarity, speak with unwavering confidence, and liberate those inner voices, you're in the perfect spot. My mission here is to empower you to break free, find fulfillment, and ignite your passion. You ready? It's time to say it out loud. I've put together a guide of my top 10 tested and proven to work practical strategies and habits to help bright women like you say no, set your boundaries right, live confidently, and build healthy relationships, starting with the relationship you have with yourself. This is a self-paced guide, and I can't wait for you to dig into it so you can start becoming your most confident self, because she's in there waiting for you. Head to the link in my show notes or go to vasavikumar.com/guide and grab it today. We're back with another episode of the Say It Out Loud podcast. Hey everyone, it's me, Vasavi. I am super excited because we have a question that was sent to me by Amanda. And Amanda said I could air this question, and I thought it would be very helpful to all of you to hear her question. Without further ado, y'all, here is Amanda's question. And then as soon as her question is stopped, I'm going to come right back in and I'm going to give you my answer to her question. Her question's about a minute long. So listen to her question and then you'll hear my response right after. Okay? Here we go.
Hi, Vasavi. My name is Amanda, and I love your show. And I really love everything you've been talking about as we get into the new year about being who we want to be and making the life for ourselves that we want to make for ourselves. But I feel like something that's been coming up for me is this voice in my head that's telling me I'm too old. I turned 35 last year, and I don't know, I guess just for all of us who are in our late 30s or 40s or 50s and beyond, what's your advice for not believing that we're too old to do this? Like to be where we want to be financially, to be where we want to be in our careers. How do you talk to that voice in your head that says it's too late, you're too old? I would really love to know. Thank you.
That's a great question, Amanda. So the first thing that I want to acknowledge you for is recognizing that it is just a voice in your head. It is a thought. It is a voice that is saying to you, you're too late. Who are you to be doing this? Oh, come on, you're 35 years old. You know, who do you think you are? You just be a mom. Don't try to do all these other things. We all have these voices in our head, right? First of all, I want to normalize it. We all have these voices in our head. I want to also acknowledge you for recognizing that this is a voice in your head, just for like recognizing that it's a voice, because you recognize it, like you have awareness around it. Okay. So that is the very first step. So I just want to acknowledge you for that. I'm 41 years old and I'm fucking proud of how old I am. Like, it's not anything for me that I'm ashamed of. I have never been, afraid of or cringe at the fact that I get older every year. I feel 24 sometimes. I feel 32 these days. It's just like, but as someone who has done many things in her life, okay? So where was I at 35 years old? Let me paint a picture. At 35 years old, I was divorced. I was using cocaine 5 days a week. I was running a 6-figure coaching business. I was doing a little bit of acting on the side, little bit. Didn't have an agent or anything like that. And yeah, that was my life at 35. And but by that time, I'd already gone to culinary school. I hadn't gone to yoga teacher training yet. I'd already gotten 2 masters. I'd been married. I'd been divorced. At that point, I lived a pretty colorful life up until that point. And my life was getting darker. It was getting darker because I was using cocaine heavily. I talk about this earlier in much earlier episodes. So, but that's not the point of the story. The point of the story is at 35, I'm using comparison for a reason here, okay? Because first of all, like, we have to hear these stories. We have to hear how, like, what I was doing at that age, because it gives perspective, right? Because when we're in our shit and we let those voices take over, it's very hard to see the bigger picture here. So that's why I'm sharing, like, listen, girl, at 35, if you only knew what I was doing and what I was up to, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I was a hot freaking mess. I was a hot mess. I needed to clean up my life. And I had not. I mean, it was really bad. It was really, really bad. And I got the help that I needed. And now I'm 41. So that's 6 years ago. So much has changed. I consider myself a voiceover artist and an actor, like seriously, professionally. I have a podcast that I'm super proud of that's growing every single day. I wrote a freaking book, say it out loud. I've given keynotes. I've been interviewed on top podcasts. But more than any of those outside external accolades, I am a changed person on the inside. I am not the same person that I used to be at 32, 33, 34, 35, even 40. So I often wonder if this question or this voice in our head that tells us, oh, it's too late, is it really the fear or the judgment of it being too late, or is it the fact that we don't truly believe that we can change? Right? Like, have we given up faith in ourselves that we really don't think, like, we're going to let those voices take over? You know what I mean? Like, this is where I really want to restore some faith back in you, Amanda, and everyone listening. Like, you can change. You literally can change. And I shared the story about where I was at 35, Amanda, and everyone else, because it's like, do you know how much I have changed in 6 years? My life, my career, the way I feel about myself, the way I feel on the inside, the way I communicate with other people, new things that I'm constantly trying out. If I want to do something and I'm like, that seems exciting, I do it. Like, thank God I never listened to those voices in my head that told me it was too late, because I would have been dead by now. Now, that just got real dark and real deep real quickly. But the reason why, Amanda, I never let that voice win is because it was life or death for me. Literally. I think about times where I could have overdosed, or I could have gotten into a car accident. Oh my God, how many times I drove under the influence, you know? So it's like, that voice, I have it too. Is it too late? Oh, it's too late. Who do you think you are? You know, act your age. I have those voices too, but I can't let those voices take over, because it was a matter of life or death for me. Like, I don't let those voices take over because it's that serious. Wow, I did not think that question was going to evoke this kind of emotion. But if I'm going to be really honest, standing in my black box confessional, like, that's really what it is. It's not just like, yeah, go after your dreams. It's like, no, I need you to look at it as life or death. For some people, they don't have a choice to let those voices take over because it's life or death. I was one of those people. I couldn't give up on myself because it was a matter of life or death. Because I could have done worse and done more and eventually got caught up with a really even worse crowd or worse boyfriend or whatever. And I'm lucky that even though I let that voice win just a little bit, you know, that's why I was being so unhealthy with myself, I still had another voice that was louder. Let's call it the voice of God. That was like, no, Vasavi, you were built for this. This is not you. You are better than this. And I don't mean better than like, you're a bad girl. I mean like, you were made for this, right? Like, you were built in the image of and in the energy of the universe, God, source. You know, we are made for this life. Like, we are warriors. Like, that's how I look at myself. Like, any situation in life, Amanda, I'm like, I got this. Nothing is going to knock me down. If I want to do something, I'm going to go do it. I'm going to go do it. Why be so afraid? What are we actually in the literal fuck afraid of? Like, just let that question ring through you over and over again. Ring through your mind over and over. What are you actually afraid of? Please get clear on that. If you're afraid of what your mother's going to think, you're afraid of what your family's going to think, then we need to work on boundaries and we need to work on people pleasing. Period. You can fix that. You can. You don't have to be held hostage to the voices in your head, Amanda. You don't. And I want to really encourage you to just let my voice be a fire in your ass for you to really stand up to those voices and say, you know what? I'm just fucking getting started. Shut up. Sometimes you need to talk to those voices in your head like that. If that's a little too harsh, you can try something like, listen, I'm just getting started. I need you to back up. I need you to get a little quiet. Okay? If I need you, I will contact you. You need to say that to that voice in your head. You don't have to you don't have to curse that voice out. I'm laughing, but it's like, of course, I want you to be very compassionate with yourself, but sometimes we need a harsh dose. So we need that real pep talk from ourselves. We need to be that real with ourselves because it is life or death for some people. So this is not about, I'm not trying to inject fear in you and say, oh, you're going to die and this is life or death, or, but it's like, imagine if you lived with that type of urgency to live, like that hunger. That's what's missing. Where is that hunger for life? Right? Like, I wake up hungry every day. What's God gonna feed me today? I want to eat. I want to know what God's gonna feed me today. What magic am I gonna experience? Because I swear, my life is magical. It is magical. And when I think about everything that I have been through in my life, it seems like there was always a wizard, just like with its hands, just like sprinkling magic dust over my life. And I call that grace. And I call that being blessed. And I call that karma. And I am very lucky. And so, Amanda, this is just my plea. Everyone's going to be like, I'm never sending in a voice note. Voss is going to get all emo on us. No, but, this is real talk. This is Say It Out Loud podcast. I wouldn't be doing you any favors by keeping this all vanilla. All right? We don't do vanilla here. All right? No basic vanilla allowed on this podcast. Sorry. But this really evoked something inside of me, and I think it needed to. Because I feel very open right now, too. Really open. And so this is what I want to say. Please go after that thing. Do it. It's not too late. It's not too late. I'm 41. I'm single. I'm open for a relationship. I am open to a relationship. Right now. I just need to boldly proclaim that out loud. I'm going to be traveling more this year. I already have 3 trips booked. More adventure in my life. I'm just like, yes, I said I was going to do more adventure. Like, I refuse to let just a number or an age or anything, or like, how, societal expectations of being settled down, whatever that means. Like, no, I'm going to do what I want to do because that's what I want to do. Period. I'm going to do what I want to do because that's what I want to do. And one question, I've been getting a lot of pushback, and I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent here, but I'm sure it'll all fit together somehow. God works great that way. In getting ready to be in a relationship, I'm back in therapy, and this is a whole nother episode, but I'm really working through my challenges with being close to somebody in a romantic relationship again. I feel very open-hearted when it comes to my friends, with my clients. I feel very comfortable in who I am as a person, with anyone that I come across. But yes, the idea of getting back into a romantic relationship and being close and intimate with someone overwhelms me. It doesn't scare me. It overwhelms me. I'm not afraid. I'm overwhelmed by it. And so I'm working through those feelings of overwhelm with my therapist, and it's going great. So I'll keep you posted. And if you're interested, I can talk about it on another episode of how I'm the funny. I mean, if you guys ever saw me in therapy, you would seriously laugh. I'm a trip. I've been in therapy since I was 12, so it's not my first rodeo. Anyway, I want to circle back to Amanda. Amanda, I want to say thank you for sending in your question. For real, thank you so much. I really appreciate you asking such a pertinent, relevant question that I think so many people will benefit from hearing. and realizing that they're not alone because you asked the same question. You asked the question, and so that's showing other people that, oh, if other people think that way, like, oh shit, I'm not alone. And then with my response, I poured it all out there, guys. So I really hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please go ahead and leave a review, 5-star review, written review, or if you're not already following me on social media, please come over to my Instagram. My name is Vasavi. That's my handle. My name is Vasavi. Feel free to send me a voice note, or if you have a question for the podcast, let me know. You can write it out and I can read it out as well. But more than anything, I just want to connect. Like, if you like this episode, or if you have a question, like, I really want to hear from you because I check my DMs and I want to converse with you and I want to get to know who's listening. So, like I said, I'm in my black box confessional. So it's like, hello, is anybody there? So anyway, man, that felt really good. Anyway, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, do I have anything else to say? Yes, Say It Out Loud group begins January 16th. We begin on Tuesday, and so the link to join is in my show notes. I really hope to see you inside. We have about 4 spots left, okay? So link is in my show notes. If you have any questions, just DM me, find me on Instagram. And until next time, say it out loud, y'all. If you love today's episode, then say it out loud. Subscribe, leave a review, and come say hi over on Instagram at My Name is Vasavi. Until next time, say it out loud.